Hi viewers, I've been planning this video for a very long time but hadn't managed to round up all the pieces I wanted to show in the video and still haven't, but we'll press on regardless. It's about the correlation between collecting items and stacking precious metals, and how being a collector can be advantageous to stackers. Anyway, we'll start with this 1998 football medal collection, which as you can see is the full set, and for my UK viewers, a few names you'll recognise like Paul Gascoigne and David Beckham. Anyway, this album has a value to a collector, and that is its sole value. There are thousands and thousands of items like this that people collect that have just a sole collector value and no intrinsic value. For example, models. Now I know several of my friends collect Hot Wheels, I believe, and some of them buy the new releases and flip them for a nice little profit. And what do they do with that profit? They buy precious metals because it has an intrinsic value, whereas the models don't. So let's move on to a few other items that have just a collector value, well, really only collectible as a jewellery piece. This titanium bracelet, it is only worth what someone is willing to pay for it as a piece of jewellery, whereas the silver bracelet has both. It has a value as a piece of jewellery, and it also always maintains a value for its precious metal, so it is always worth its weight in silver. The same applies to these two pens. Now obviously I'm not going to get into pens of high value like Mont Blanc, which that's a totally different collectible thing altogether. I'm really just only getting into items that the majority of us are able to afford. So this pen is only worth its usable value as a pen. This pen in sterling silver from 1977 has both. It has a value as a usable pen and its silver content. It actually has a third value because it was made in the year of the Queen's Jubilee, but anyway, that's beside the point. The same also applies to many other items. A pair of sugar tongs. This pair, worthless really. This pair, worth a lot of money. George III sterling silver sugar tongs. Both do the same job. One has an intrinsic value, one might have a usable value. I don't know that anyone really much uses sugar tongs these days, but this one has a collector value and an intrinsic silver value. Continuing on the same theme, a letter opener has a value as a letter opener, and that's it. This letter opener, on the other hand, has a value as a letter opener and about an ounce of silver. So this one will always maintain an intrinsic value. This one will only maintain its value as per its use. Now, one of the things I was trying to find, and I know I've got one somewhere in the house, is a porcelain thimble. There's a lot of people collect these little porcelain thimbles, and I couldn't find one. But anyway, there's a little stainless steel thimble which has a value as a thimble, which is very little. But this thimble which you would think, oh, it's just the same. No, it has a much greater value. This is a Victorian sterling silver thimble, and not only are these thimbles highly collectible, but it always maintains its intrinsic weight. Although it doesn't weigh very much, the fact that it's silver and collectible makes it quite sought after. I think I'm probably getting my point across now. But just a couple more items to show you. Lovely case, lovely set of spoons. Yep, worthless. They're just silver plates. These two spoons, on the other hand, are worth way more because they're sterling silver, solid silver. So they have their value as a usable piece of cutlery, but they also have their value for their weight in silver. You know, there are just so many items out there that are available in dual versions. One with very little value, like this lady's mirror, which I won't open up fully, but as you can see there. And the same item available made from silver. Obviously this one always maintains its value as a silver item. The other one will maintain a value as a mirror, and obviously this one has both. And even if that were all beaten up, mangled, it's still worth its weight in silver. One of the things I used to collect many years ago, matchboxes. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds from all over the world. Yeah, there's a whole jar of the damn things. And really, what value do they have? Only as a means of lighting a fire. That is it, you know. But ooh, that's rather saucy, that one. Anyway, I'm sure other people collected them as well. Now, I'm sure many of you collected coins. I mean, these are just a couple of examples here of the Queen's Jubilee crowns, which were available at our banks. They come into a slightly different category because they actually did have a face value, and that face value is still maintained today. I used to take these to my bank and cash them in, which was currently 25 pence each. I mean, back in '77, I can't honestly remember how much they were when we used to buy them in the bank, but that has devalued massively. You know, the 25 pence today won't buy you much, but what these cost back in '77 would have bought you quite a lot. So basically the point I'm trying to get across is that if you'd have actually spent that money on silver or gold back in 1977, it would be worth way more today, you know, to cash in that silver. The same really applies to any non-precious metals coinage. You know, as wonderful as this card presentation is from the Royal Mint with a brilliant uncirculated £1 coin in it, it really is only worth, yeah, £1. I mean, you know, you might find some collector willing to pay a little bit more than £1. There obviously are collectors of these things, and if you can get a more than £1 for it, then that's exactly what I do. And what do I do with the money? I'll buy silver with it, of course. And the same really applies to a lot of these modern collectibles. They have a collectability value and a face value. This is a Tittle-mouse, is it? I don't know, but I do collect them, and then if I can get more for them than their face value, I will, and then I'll buy precious metals with the profits, with the proceeds. So, to round up, there are a lot of items out there that are collectible but have no intrinsic value. Now, the only problem I see with hoarding or collecting those items is that invariably there is a time span when those items are of value, as in currency, and that time span can be decades or it can be very short. So in my opinion, buying something that is collectible but has an intrinsic value is always better option than buying something that is always just collectible. This one will no doubt end up in the trash. This one will still be around in decades. Yes, I did swap my mug out for my 1977 Elvis mug. Collectible? Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.